where we show you ways to get around the city. If you don't have a bike, don't worry about it. Come on down and we'll let you try one. If you're curious about biking, you can come out and ride with me, ride with one of our guys, and be out for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and see how you like it. If it grabs you, hey, we're there for you. So our bike shop is characterized by 3 things. The events, free events. We'll do movie screenings in our shop too, because it'll be big enough. We'll have space. If the community ever needs to do anything, we'll have space that's available to, and we're easy, you know, just give us a call. Our mechanics, our technicians, some of them have over 40 years experience fixing bikes. So if you have a pre-war Raleigh or Schwinn that you want restored, we can get the parts to do it. Or if you have a friend who just got something off of Craigslist, it's 1970s, 1980s, well, if it was sold in the area, one of these guys may have put it together when it went out for sale. So we can fix anything that comes through our doors. And then finally, it's our product mix. We've got the exclusive on these Brompton bicycles. This is a folding bicycle. And if you rent in the area, you know why these are so valuable, because you don't get much space, and it'll fold up and go in the closet when you get home. So we've got a super interesting product mix, unlike any other bike shop in town. Events all year long. Every week of the year, we have at least 5 events going on, which are free to participate in. And then the niceness and the capability of our service staff. So we plan to be opening in late May, mid to late May, but we will have a grand opening, and we'll be back here to invite everybody to it. If you all want to get on our mailing list, there's a sign-up sheet here. There's also free bicycle maps if you want to know where the bike trails and paths run in DC, and we have a card which lists all our events. Again, thank you very much for having us on the agenda. It's a pleasure being before you guys.
Thank you, Eric. You know, we're glad to have you back in Mount Vernon Triangle. We cried when you left, and we'll cry when you come back just because of out of happiness. Eric has done so many different bike rides throughout the city. One, I recall, there were 50 to 70 people, and it was a Victorian bike ride. So everybody came in Victorian costumes.
500 people.
I'm sorry, 500 people showed up for that one. So he does have quite a following, and it's really amazing. He has also designed his own bicycle and has a brand new concept out for a completely new type of bicycle. So when you get the chance, you need to come and see Eric at Bicycle Space. Thank you so much.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
You're temporarily located.
Oh, in what used to be the Burger King behind the Verizon Center at 5th and G.
You have any bikes with training wheels?
Okay.
No?
Okay. Oh, yes, the Spring Fest, the Mount Vernon Triangle Spring Fest. We'll have a table there, and you'll be able to meet some of our guys. Bike to Work Day is the 15th. We'll have a pit stop right out in front of the Lyric at 440K. Stop down. Arc'teryx is also joining us. I just found out, so they'll be set up there. They're a really cool outdoor clothing supplier located in downtown. But they're working with us. The 15th of May. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. You're Andrea?
Yes.
Okie doke. Next on the agenda, Casey's Trees. Come on down.
Hey, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you all tonight. I'll make it real quick. My name is Siraj. I'm with Casey Trees. We're just up the road. We're DC's tree advocacy group, just up the road on Rhode Island Avenue in Brooklyn. Has anyone here heard of Casey Trees? Okay, have you done like a tree planting, or how do you know?
I'm done watering.
Oh, okay, there you go. So that's important, very important. Casey Trees is known mostly for its tree planting programs, but that's not my job at Casey Trees. My job is to connect you with the most important decision makers here in the city. And that's why I'm excited to talk about and invite you to our May 21 event with Ward 6 Council Member Charles Allen. Now, council members are supposed to be accountable to you, but I know that doesn't always happen. So, you don't want to miss this opportunity, I guess, to ask your questions, raise your concerns, and speak your mind with Councilmember Allen directly at this event. We're also going to have Melissa Bird, who is Ward 6. She's like a planner. where I oversee some of the biggest projects in Ward 6, like the Walmart on First Street, like this new soccer stadium that's coming. And I think it's really important that residents get involved in these processes and these help influence these designs, because like the soccer stadium can't just be a plaything for the rich. It needs to serve the community that pays for it. So we're also going to have representatives from the district's Department of Environment, the Urban Forestry Administration. So if you want a tree planted on your property for free or for a very low cost, if you want more street trees in your neighborhood, or you want to remove a tree that's giving you a problem and you haven't had any luck getting 311 to come out and take care of it, come to the meeting and get results, because we're going to have the UFA guy there to talk to you about that kind of stuff. We're going to have the District Department of Environment guy there to help plant that tree on your property or get more street trees in your neighborhood. So it's going to be an exciting opportunity. There's a handout at a number of your chairs. If you didn't get the information, let me know. I'll give you a flyer. And I hope to see you all on May 21st. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the presentation. The next thing on our agenda this evening, we have, I believe, one grant application, Ken.
Yes, just one.
Would you like to do the honors for us?
It's from New Community Church.
Church grant.
Yes, and you will give us a brief
Okay.
outline of the grant, and if anyone has any questions.
Sure.
So my name is Rachel Dickerson, and I run New Community Art Space, which is a program that's run out of New Community Church, just at 614 S Street. And New Community Church has been around since the early 80s. You guys nodded your head like you know. Okay. And I am seeking some funding to help support this community-based art program that offers classes, workshops, exhibits for adults and children in the Shaw community mostly. Currently we have 4 kids classes that we offer, and the classes range in size of about 20 kids on Monday mornings with an adult, so there's 40 people at Art Space enjoying time with different projects, and those are toddlers, so 18 months to 3 years old. And on Tuesdays we have a 3 to 6-year-old class, and there are about 10 kids with their parents that come, or nannies that come to that class. And we will be starting a poetics class on Wednesday with a woman who runs classes out of Dance Place, LaShawn Bryant, and that'll be about 10 kids who will come to that class. And then on Thursdays, we offer a class through New Community for Children, which is an after-school program that coexists at the New Community Church space. And we have 10 kids there. And then we have our adult classes tend to run a little bit smaller because we have smaller, our facility is somewhat small. So we have a ceramics class. We offer darkroom classes, traditional darkroom classes. We have a fiber arts class. That's been the longest running class on Tuesdays that's going on right now. And we will be, we have an open studio time. So anybody from the community can come in on Mondays from 6:30 to 8:30 and bring their own project, or just come and be inspired and work in our space. So we're just looking for some funding to kind of help support the minimal staff we have, and the publicity and some of the supplies that we need to continue our work. So, offer any open it up for any questions, I guess.
Could you tell us how long is the program? Is it just ongoing?
It is ongoing. It's been in operation since 1999.
So if any area youth are interested in the program, what should you do?
Yeah. So anybody's interest, come to me and we can kind of talk through any ideas that people from the community have that you want to do. Yeah, we're a resource and we're a space.
So if any youth from the community
Sure.
were interested in the program,
Mm-hmm.
what would they do? Would they just come to New Community Church?
It depends on the age. So So we have a toddler class on Mondays. I was just kind of talking. And you can look at this stuff on our website too.
Okay.
There's a 3 to 6 year old class on Tuesdays, and those are drop-in classes, so anybody from the community can come at any point. The other 2 kids classes are you register to attend those 2 classes.
And how much are you asking for?
$1,500
And you want to use it for what?
for staff and for just a small amount for publicity and supplies.
So there's a budget that's attached. $1,000 is going towards part-time coordinator salary. That's being matched, or is part of a total budget of $11,000. $100 is going towards class supplies. That budget is $2,400. Publicity, which I presume you mean flyers.
We have,
Other ways of
yeah,
getting
we
the word
send
out.
out email lists, so we have to kind of.
So that's $100. $300 going towards a studio assistant, budget for which is $3,000. So a total of $1,500 out of a project budget of $36,600.
I forwarded the application to everyone. So the grant committee did meet, and we did vote to approve, recommend that ANC 60 approve the grant application.
I would second it, Kevin. My question, all receipts will be
Oh,
given
yeah.
back to Kevin in a timely fashion?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
We're having some,
Okay, yeah, no
issues with
problem.
that. But yeah, I second the motion.
Actually, I don't
Well,
think that was a
yeah,
motion,
that
but
wasn't a motion, but-
I had one question. I'm presuming that the registration for the classes is free of charge?
Right, so we offer, the drop-in classes are just a $5 fee for people to come in to use the space. So this is, again, this is a small grant that we're asking for just a larger ongoing programming, and so that supports some of the class supplies. The amount I'm asking for this grant covers just a very tiny part of our class fees, or supplies, I'm sorry. But the fees help to support, so our teachers are all volunteer, and we have to purchase a number of supplies to facilitate our classes. So we do ask a small class fee.
So that's $5 for every session? I mean,
Every
is that-
time someone comes, yeah. So
That
if it's a
includes
long,
kids, too?
ongoing class, so if it's a 12-week class, we ask for $60 from the participants if they're registering.
So is that just for adults or for kids too?
For kids and adults, yes.
That wasn't mentioned anywhere in the application.
Does it have to be?
Yeah, I didn't know
It's
it.
not for us to talk about the fees they charge.
So I think in the budget, it does outline sort of what Art Space is contributing towards supplies. And that comes, and I did actually do that in the budget narrative. I did mention where the remaining, where the remaining money comes from.
Is there any scholarshiping when people come on
Yeah, if
board?
people cannot afford the drop-in fee, we work with them on that.
Sounds good.
We also have an exhibit at Touchstone Gallery, which is at 901 New York Avenue, and I'll just put some flyers out. And that was a workshop, a partnership that we had with Touchstone Gallery, where their artists came to Art Space to facilitate workshops, and it all culminated into an exhibit so adults and children are exhibiting work in a gallery setting. So you should check it out. It'll be up to May.
Okay, I move that ANC 60 approve new community church grant applications.
For
in the
second.
amount of
For $1,500.
I I second.
So my only comment is that when you submit this to the DC Auditor's Office, that you clarify that there is a charge for participation in these classes, so that the auditor takes that into account in their determination as to whether or not this is an allowable grant.
Okay. We have a practice of submitting these applications to the auditor's office
Okay.
just for their approval to make sure that we don't give a grant that we shouldn't, and then we will have to eat the cost or try to chase down the organization to repay us, which we don't have a lot of means of making them repay us once we give them the money. So we try to make sure we don't put ourselves in that predicament, to make sure that the auditor approves them first.
Yeah. So I understand the question. We do run on a number of grants in order for us to stay running. So the class fees are very, very small compared to
And the
what is
only reason-
needed for the actual programming and the maintenance of the space and so forth.
The only reason we have to be concerned is because the government, this is government money, so it
Sure,
has to be
and
approved.
I would say that we do receive other government funding.
Right, so it shouldn't take but a 48-hour turnaround time if you get it in and get someone who's in their office, so.
Don't make promises you can't.
Well, that's what we anticipate.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So we have a second. Any other discussion? Second was Rochelle. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for
Unanimous.
listening.
Thank you very much for coming. Okay, treasurer's report.
Yes, first I'd like to say that I do not have the quarterly report completed because there's a new system that is now online, and they haven't worked out all the kinks yet, and they have to do something to correct something again about the data I was entering. It was something incorrect, and their technical people will have to solve that problem before I can continue and print out the report. So that will be at the next meeting. But currently, ANC 60 has $61,395.90 in checking account. And I will, also, do you want me to go to expenses now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well do the whole thing.
Yes. So I move that ANC 60 pay our note taker Karen Yealy the amount of $125 for the preparation of the May meeting notes. I move that ANC 60 reimburse Commissioner Rochelle Nigro the amount of $521.35 for the printing of the May newsletter. And I move that ANC 60 reimburse Commissioner Marge Messita the amount of $21 for paying the late fee for our post office.
Second.
Any
And
discussion?
well, and pending the turning in of the reimbursement form.
To figure out what that is.
I'll send it to you, I have it.
Okay, no problem. Any questions on whatever? Okay, all in favor of paying the signify?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, everybody, it's unanimous, Karen. Okay, we're up to, bylaws. Under the law in the District of Columbia, we have to have updated bylaws on a regular basis. And so we have taken the time to start that process, and we will have a public discussion of the draft at this time. Any comments?
So this is in, let's see here. Article 4, Section 4, because we're talking about the election of officers. The quorum for the election shall be 1/2 of the commission. We don't have a half, so it's like, I don't know if we can get specific and go 4 of 7, or, because now we have 7 members.
Okay, so it should
So-
be,
I mean, it's just like, I don't know how it should be phrased.
I propose that we add to the sentence that's provided, a comma followed by rounded up to the next higher number in the event a fraction is involved.
okay, so leave 1/2 in? Are we leaving 1/2 in?
No, you can't leave a half, you need to round it up.
So
The
shall,
majority of,
state it again, please. A
Rounded
quorum?
up to the next higher number in the event a fraction is involved. 1/2 of 7, for example, or a certain configuration is 3.5.
So it would be 4, okay.
The old language said +1, which would make it 4.5. So that's one.
Got it, okay.
Use the old language.
Okay.
Can you tell me what section you're looking at?
We are looking at section 4
Article 4.
in Article 4.
Page 3.
Okay, section 4. And what was the, I'm sorry, the change?
The quorum for an election will be rounded up to the next number so that it can't be half, it has to be the next higher number, so 4 out of 7.
I think it's probably going to be impossible for Karen to keep all these straight, so I think probably just need to make
Okay,
copies and give
All
them
right.
to you, because otherwise
okay.
it's not what it says.
Well, I think it's going to be easiest that we let Karen write
Okay.
that there was a discussion and a new draft will be submitted to her so that we don't have to spend
Okay,
That makes sense.
all
a
right.
whole lot of time for everybody. Frank, I got your corrections, and obviously, if you've looked through it, there are plenty of places where my little finger hit the 9 for all sorts of typing errors. So Frank pointed that out, and that will be corrected.
so I have another, so this is a little more of a general, so we actually don't have a physical office, clearly. But it mentions it in a couple places, because we had talked originally about whether we could, store our, right now, all of our letters and all the emails, which are public technically, we all have ourselves. So we were talking among ourselves if we could store stuff in the clouds, because we do not have, there's no physical office, we don't have a desk or a phone or anything like that. So I think that, is that even relevant?
It depends on how often we're going to revise these, because a couple of developers have offered that they would be building us on this space. So,
Or it could maybe be an either or, because we don't have an office now, we don't know if that's gonna come true.
well, when the building starts again. But, okay, whatever you guys want.
That's
I
the
mean,
thought.
What happens when cloud no longer exists or it doesn't happen anymore, if something goes awry?
Well, we don't know if we can do, that's what we have to ask, we never found out if we could ask Gottlieb Simon if that's acceptable to store things in the cloud, is that acceptable? We don't know.
Because that's a question to
Yes.
pose, and we wouldn't necessarily include it in this draft, but we're looking at, but you can look at
Yeah.
making it say it's under the amendment. And I do have other, since we're on that, I'm looking for the find what's the section number of that one, Michelle?
For the office one?
Yeah.
So the first time it's in section 17,
Okay, yeah, I've got it here, so
Yeah.
it's,
Page 4.
so it's Article 4, Section 17. So I was recommending, in addition there, that if the commission does not have an office, officers are authorized to maintain possession of said documents. That's just the de facto, that somebody's got to physically have them. So it should be maintained by the officers.
Okay. Antonio, do you have any comments? You're good so
You
far?
guys just summed it up now.
Okay. Anything else, Alan?
Sure. Article 2, Section 1A, I presume that's where we're providing a description of the commission area. So we have two ways that we can do that. We can do that by inclusion of a map,
Which is
and/or
required by the,
and/or a turn-by-turn description, which is what appears in the redistricting legislation. So you have the option to do both. So, but in terms of narrative, I'm suggesting that the paragraph continue, it stops of the general population of the blank. I'm suggesting that it's a Mount Vernon Square, Mount Vernon Triangle, Northwest One, and Shaw neighborhoods, as shown on the map of the commission's jurisdiction, and as figure number 1. Said map and boundaries may change every 10 years.
okay. Can you just scan that and send it to me?
Yeah. I guess Kevin-
Okay, all right, just so I can just retype the things
Sure.
that,
So which is just to conclude, based on the decennial census and redistricting, just
okay.
to close that thought. So I'm not mentioning any typos because those
I
are
already know about
obvious.
them.
No, section 6 in Article 2, I know that's the old language, but I'm trying to figure out whether or not it makes any sense. It reads, the commission, other than for neighborhood improvement campaigns, may operate programs only in conjunction with existing governmental agencies. And to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what that means or what it's supposed to preclude. I know that ANCs cannot use any of our funding to replace services that are provided by the district government. And I think that's what it's trying to say, but the language, which goes back probably to
This is from,
1975.
yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember the date on the 2C.
Yeah, no, but this is much older than that 2C set of bylaws.
Do we need to keep it in?
If we want to have something in there that reflects the language from, the current ANC statute, that's fine, but otherwise it doesn't seem to make very much sense.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
Article 3, Section 2 refers to Section 8D of the Advisory Neighborhood Council Act of 1975, and that probably is Advisory Neighborhood Commission Act of 1975. In any case, it would be as amended because it has been amended several times in this century. Section 3, related to reimbursement of expenses. Commissioner shall present receipts for reimbursement. Said reimbursement shall be approved by the commission before payment shall be made. That's just a clarification so that everyone knows how that's supposed to work.
Can I make a suggestion? Because the public does not have this, they don't know what we're talking about. Should we do this, make all the corrections and then publicize our proposed corrected bylaws, and then you can vote on it at the next meeting? I mean, I don't know how interested the public is in just hearing us talk about something that they can't see, they don't see.
Well, that's fine with me, except that I sent this to you guys about 2 weeks ago. I asked each of you to read it, make your corrections, and send it to me so I could have a completed redraft of the draft. And the only person who did that, there was only one person who did that. So,
I understand, but.
I can't update and correct and do if you guys don't send it to me.
Okay.
So that's that's the major point here. I have no problem with going back and taking all of these things, and I know they probably don't, want to hear all this nonsense, but if you all are willing to scan and send me all the stuff, I need to do it because I have to have it to the auditor within 50 days.
50 days from what date? Make sure that we're meeting in the next year.
June 28th. It has to be done and in their hands by June 28th. okay, then I'm gonna make a suggestion that everybody who has looked at it and has something to say, please scan it and send it to me so I can make those corrections. And we can, via email, do all the back and forth nitty-gritty, and I will expect to have a vote on this at the next meeting. All in agreement?
And we could publicize this to.
We can put it on our website, we
Yeah,
can.
so they can see exactly what.
We can do all sorts of ways to get it out, but we need to have it in form. And as I said, this was not formatted or drafted, it was just there for general information so that we could make all the corrections before we did final draft kind of thing. So, okay, so we're okay with doing that? Okay.
Next question. Will we get this final draft before the day of the vote so we can actually go through it, skim through it, and see if there's anything that we might not agree with?
Well, I can put it, so what I can put, anything that the commission's giving me, I can put publicized on social media, Facebook, we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account, we have a web page.
So it will be up there probably like 5 to 7 days before the
Whenever
actual,
we-
next Tuesday, I mean, the first Tuesday of next month before this actual vote is.
We hope.
We hope.
We hope.
Because we don't, if it's there the day of, that's not enough time to actually read it, look through it, see everything. Because like you read through details to see everything that may be a little.
Well, and you should also know that these are rules governing the commission, not, and that the commissioners are the only ones who have to say on how they are to govern themselves. The public may not like that, I mean, but the rules that are set up to govern the commission are decided by the commission.
This commission has taken into consideration what people have suggested many, many, many times. So we will try to get anything out at least a week ahead. And if you have comments, you're welcome to send them directly to me or anybody else on the commission, and they will get looked at, and we will decide whether it should be part or not part of the bylaws.